Hi there, it's Craig Meathall from Strategic Wealth. Well, I sometimes get asked about how much money you need in order to retire. Now, unfortunately, the answer is, well, it depends, simply because all the different factors that go into determining how much money you need. So in this video, I'm going to explore how we go about determining when each of our unique clients will have enough in order to retire. Now, you may have noticed in the media different amounts bandied around about how much you actually need in retirement. And it's a bit confusing because sometimes you see a figure as low as 500,000 and sometimes it's north of 1 million. But the answer is it's actually quite personal, simply because everyone is quite different. When I ask clients how much it costs for their lifestyle, which they say is quite comfortable, some people will say it costs us or a couple that might cost them $45,000 a year, whereas other people will say a figure that's greater than $100,000 a year. I suppose the good news is that without working it out exactly for you, there is a rough guide of what it takes to live in retirement. And that's because the Association of Super Funds of Australia do a survey every 3 months to look at what it costs for a 65-year-old to live in retirement. And they do that both for a moderate retirement and a comfortable standard of living. So let's take a look at the numbers that ASFA has come up with. So the first one is a comfortable retirement. They say it costs a single nearly $50,000 to have a comfortable lifestyle, whereas they say a couple, it costs them close to $70,000 a year for their comfortable lifestyle. Now, you can go onto the ASFA website and have a look at the retirement standard and all the components that they've used to determine the cost of a comfortable lifestyle. But this illustration just covers a few of the key items. So you can see it's covered all the daily essentials. They've included health insurance. They've included going out, and they've, for example, included one domestic flight per year and one international flight every 7 years. Now, they also looked at the cost of a moderate lifestyle, and this moderate lifestyle is you're actually getting just a little bit more than you would on the full age pension. So for singles, you need just over $31,000, and for a couple, you need just over $45,000 a year to have a very moderate lifestyle. So a moderate lifestyle is you're not really having much of the bells and whistles that you might find in a comfortable lifestyle. So let's have a look at determining how much is enough. So the first step is to determine what your actual lifestyle costs. What I do know is that most people want the same lifestyle, at least the same lifestyle as they have now, as they want into the future, into their retirement. So a great place to start is to look at the current cost of your lifestyle. That means going through your bank accounts, looking at a history of your spending, and that gives you a clear idea of what you might be spending. Now, some things might fall off when you're retirement because you might not be driving to work every day, but you'll find that they are also replaced by different things because you're going to have more time on your hands to do other things like going out. So for step 2, we then look at the different factors that might go into determining how much you're going to need in order to be able to retire. So we might have determined the cost of your current lifestyle, but maybe you've got a different amount you'd like to spend in the future. We look at when you want to retire, because if you want to retire earlier, you're going to certainly need more money than if you retire later to cover the rest of your life. How much you're going to earn between now and retirement. Is your income going to stay the same? Is it going to gradually reduce as you transition into retirement? Do you have a budget you want to spend on travel in the future? Simply because retirement opens up extra time for those people that want to travel. Some people are going to do big home renovations. Some people might be spending some extra money on their children. They might be replacing vehicles. They might have positive effects on their retirement capital because they might downsize their home and release some equity. They might be gifting assets. From an estate planning perspective, some people tell me that they don't want to spend the particular asset. They want to gift that asset, so we need to keep that out of the calculations. And of course, we consider what kind of government benefits and age pensions you might get, and that because if you can get more age pension, well, you have to spend less of your own money, so your own money will certainly last longer. Now, the third thing we do is we take all those data inputs and prepare some complex financial modeling that we distill down into a simple graph to illustrate your capital over time. So we're ultimately looking at whether clients will run out of money or are they on track to actually die with too much money. In both scenarios, it gives us an opportunity to change some of the inputs. So for some people, it might be choosing to retire a bit later or spending a bit less in retirement. Or for some people that are well and truly on track to have a lot of money left over, is that gives them a chance to potentially retire earlier or maybe spend more in retirement and do more trips, for example. Now, for all of my existing clients, they've already gone through this process and looked at how their capital will regress over their lifetime. So if you're not a client and you would like to explore when you can retire and how much you can live on in your retirement, please reach out and get in touch.